You're listening to Grant's Rants. Subscribe and spread the word. There are a lot more rants to come. Listen anytime on all major podcasting platforms. And now, back to the show.
The ranting continues on this special Thanksgiving episode, not a minute too soon. I am joined by Annabelle DeSisto from Adderall and Compliments. Welcome back to Grant's Rants.
I am so honored to be back, Rand. If anything, you look even better during quarantine. You are the only person in the world who that has happened to. You have had a glow up in quarantine. It's like the new apartment glow about you. You look amazing.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. And people have said you seem lighter, you sound lighter, you look more alive since I've moved. I mean, I appreciate it. I'm not saying this in any other way other than I feel better. Maybe that's reflected because I got my eyebrows threaded. I don't know. But I mean, I don't know. I feel overall pretty good despite having no real reason to. I mean, what the hell do we got to feel so good about?
Well, you look amazing. You're in a new place that you love. You made a move that you've been wanting to make. I am so jealous that you have gotten to have your eyebrows done. I have not had any beauty treatment done since I left LA in March. I'm starting to resemble the Geico caveman. Me and you have as much facial stubble. If anything, I'm giving you a run. I have a 90s boy band goatee. Thank God I'm wearing the mask because it covers it so nobody can see it.
Right.
I'm jealous.
Well, we're all going to get there someday. I don't know when, but I mean, I'm just trying to maintain and feel human. But let's get into a few things. You've been on this podcast before, believe it or not, the Thanksgiving special 2019. We had you in person. So we already talked about some of this stuff, but there's a whole new year, new list. So we're going to talk about Oprah's favorite things. But first, I want to get your thoughts on something that you are thankful for. We'll start with the positive on this one. What are you thankful for in pop culture? One brief thing. In this is current pop culture.
I am thankful for Leah on Real Housewives of New York. I know that is a controversial opinion.
Not with me.
I loved her. I love that Bethany is gone. It's not like I wasn't a Bethany fan, but I was worried about this season with her, and she honestly, her being gone, it gave more oxygen in the room she wasn't doing because Bethany would just filibuster every scene. She would just be talking the whole time where there was nothing else. And so it's having new fresh energy. And normally I hate change, but I loved Leah. She made this quarantine for me because I laughed out loud every episode of Real Housewives of New York. Every single week, it was I was seeing Borat in theater. I thought this was the best season of any Housewives franchise. A lot of people hated it. Wow. I loved it.
I mean, I thought it was entertaining. I was happy with it. I mean, compared to the others, I was, more than happy to watch New York. It did drag on a little bit for me, but I still appreciate it for what it was. And I love Leah. The fact that she has such respect for icons like Britney and Little Kim, I vibe with her on that. I identify. I enjoy her. The sister, I will worry a little bit. I know fans are a little worried about the ego that Leah may have developing because she now realizes that she's such an asset. But season 1, Leah, for her stuff, I enjoyed her. I'm enjoying following her. I really only follow the Housewives that I really actually want to follow and care about, and she's one of the few I'm in. I like her too. I'm thankful for Leah.
We love her.
Now, more importantly, not thankful for. Where do we go from here? What are we not thankful for?
I'm not thankful for TikTok. I don't need any reminder that I am out of touch with the youth of America and that I am a bad dancer. When he who shall not be named was talking about banning TikTok, and I'm honestly, this will be the only thing you've ever done that I support. And I'm I want it gone. I don't like feeling out of the loop of things, but I'm way too old to get into. I don't like the addition of TikTok. And also another thing I am grateful for. I'm grateful that Bravo is putting Vanderpump Rules out of its misery.
Yes. That is. So you're thankful for that, but not thankful for TikTok. I just want to get it straight. This is important.
Not thankful for TikTok at all. Not thankful for Tiger King. I hate that this guy is being celebrated for animal cruelty, where I'm just he's a monster.
Yeah, do you know he wrote some letter apparently blowing smoke up of who's behind and trying to get this last second part in?
I would put more money that he will get pardoned than won't. Like a reality show murderer who is like an animal abuser and horrible and an idiot. And then you also have, Joe Exotic. So.
Oh my God, I love that. That's my type of humor. Love it. TikTok for me is just another thing to have to check. I can't check another thing. I don't need any more DMs. And I appreciate getting them. Believe me, I'm not like one of those people that don't want to hear from anybody, but like it's another platform. I don't need it. I don't want it. And like, I usually try to be like on top of all this stuff, but like, no, I can't. I can't handle the influencers. I don't care about the YouTubers, and I certainly don't care about TikTokers.
I feel like my mom's generation when I'm like, no, the TikTok I want? Kesha's TikTok. That's where I end. Okay, that's the TikTok for me. That's where it ends.
That's just enough. I agree. Just it's plenty. Let's get into this list of Oprah's favorite things. 72 gifts. I feel like this is a little light. I feel like it's usually around like 100 or so. I don't know. But this is perhaps because 50 are small Black-owned businesses, which is a good thing. I like it. I'm here for it. They gave some thought to this list more than like just like Amazon meets Oprah. This time it's more like, how are we living now? This is kind of the angle that they've taken. What are some practical gifts? I don't know about practical pricing with some of these things, but what are some practical gifts? And this is not a trendy at Wendy's segment or a view your deal. I am not getting any kickback for these items. I couldn't care less if you buy them. Don't even look them up. This is just strictly commentary.
There's no Rants promo code, so you're not.
No, Rulala / Grant Rudder does not exist.
I think my favorite thing about this list is that it is a lot of like Black-owned small businesses, like a lot of women-owned, like a lot of, female-owned businesses. She's smart to do it. This is the time. And that's really where I end on my favorites about this list.
Okay. I'll jump in and start with a couple things that stuck out to me. First thing on this list, this has to be the most useless gift. I would not want to receive it. I would never give it. This really tops the list for just most useless. It is the Duo Luxury Sea Salt gift set, number 71 on the list. Salt, black clay salt in a dish, dark grains, black lava salt, and that's it. Originally $70, 20% off with code Oprah. Now, you would just gift this, like these two, it looks almost like makeup compacts, like little MAC compacts. Like, who was giving this as a gift?
This is literally, I'd be like, this is worse than like salt in my wound. This is what you showing me what our friendship is. Like, is that like, who is exactly like, who is this for? If you're having artisanal salt, listen, I don't care what salt is on my French fries, because that's what I would be using it for. Like, no.
Black salt, I don't know how I feel about it either. Like, that to me looks strange. I like being able, you hold up a French fry. I like being able to see the salt on it and know what it is. I don't know about black salt. They say it's like volcanic, charcoal, like, no.
No, you put that in like a face mask, like not the salt you're going to eat. No.
Yeah, ugh. I don't know if I'm into this, but I mean, I would never give it. This to me, like $70 is a good price point for a gift for someone you're really into, but like that's kind of it for me. Like that's
about salt.
Yeah, I would not give it.
You could get, if concerts were still around, I could get a $70 ticket to see Salt and Pepper, cheaper than this thing of like salt compacts. Like that's ridiculous. What a horrible gift.
I was disappointed. I noticed she threw all the food at the end of the list. But yeah, this really is nonsense, because if these are supposed to be gift ideas, this isn't a gift. This is like something like, if you really want to be fancy.
This is where, like, it's not even like accessible. So, like, it's just,
unnecessary gift. Now, then there were these mules, the footwear of the mules, that like stitched. That very attractive. I said, oh, look at these at number 31 on the list.
The Maloof hoof.
Yeah, just a little more boxy. I said, she's got to be kidding putting these on the list. But again, I had to put my foot in my mouth because I'm reading it and I'm like, uh-oh. Okay, so it's a Black-owned business. After creating a center for children with disabilities in Kenya, two pastors, one from Kenya, the other from Texas, went on to start Ubuntu Life, the company behind these smart-looking suede mules handmade by local women. So I cannot hate on these shoes because...
Well, we've both just been canceled. Oh, God. That we're like, oh, these idiots. Oh, no. Now I have to buy one just out of... Oh.
I know. I'm like, oh, my God. No, listen, though, it really checks every box. So there's a center for children with disabilities in Kenya, two pastors. One of them is from Texas. And then they went on just to make them, they're handmade by local women. So, like, this literally is, like, probably the best gift you could buy, but I still don't think they're very attractive.
I was gonna say, I'm like, you are hitting like 4 different charities in one, but
yeah, I mean, again, like, you know what? Do it for the good. Do it for the good.
Do it for the good. Listen, you could be walking around like in Crocs and even like uglier footwear, and that's not benefiting anything. That's not benefiting anyone. So.
And then there's number 56 on this list. Go big. Bleach tie-dye giant hoodies. They're exactly what you think. They're like stoner hoodies on the list. And they're recommending getting it for college kids. And, you know, I was like, well, this is $60 each, too much. Again, here we go again. Hunter Woodhull is the first double amputee to receive a Division I track scholarship. So I can't be critical of anything on this list in 2020.
It is like really amazing of like a double amputee who is more athletic than I am with 4 very capable limbs. Like, who is more athletic, more ambitious, and it's just like, I
can't be critical because of the culture we're in, but also, like, I mean, good for Hunter Woodhull. I mean, you know, he made it onto Oprah's list with his tie-dye bleached sweatshirts. That
I was going to say, you can just get a tie-dyed bleached sweatshirt from Fashion Nova for $8, but now...
well, these are $60, so gianthoodies.com.
A guilt list. This is just like 71 ways to guilt people.
I know, it just doesn't let up. Then next thing on this list is it kind of in the same vein of all that salt. I thought this was really useless. Number 66 on the list, Lux Organic Tea Set. It's like these little canisters with this high-end tea. And I said, oh, no, this is another gift. This is a gift that will sit and collect dust. I say this every year. These things, anything that comes in tins, nobody really uses. It just takes up space. But again, an accident left former gymnast Taylor Lindsay Noel quadriplegic, but she didn't stop from her big dream. So again, I'm an awful person if I say that this is a useless gift.
God, you know, that Bethany Hamilton girl who had her arm bit off by the shark, that was the best thing that could have ever happened to her. Like, you know, but now she's, you know, that's old news. I will say, and I'm not sure, that girl had a career because that shark ate half of her arm. She still was able to surf and came out with the book. She's the only surfer I know.
She is kind of the only surfer I know, yeah. I mean,
you know,
point taken. This little tea set here, which I'm sure someone would enjoy, just not me. There's 6 ethnically sourced teas of mixed flavors, but it's $120. And all it is, I don't think they come in bags or anything. It's just like the contents. So it's just like a jar of like tea contents here.
I have to say, I'm sorry to like interrupt you. When you sent me this list, I was looking and I was like, did I like click on the wrong thing? Like, am I looking at like Guy Fieri's list? Because like I just seen like 7 condiments in the top like 20. Like, where are you putting all these condiments? Like, no, the fact that there was like $50 like sriracha, there was a set of spice blends. And it was just like Ragin' Cajun, Moroccan, cinnamon coffee for $50. You know, like that I could get at any store. And it's like, no, if I'm paying $50 for a spice collection, I want it to be Scary Spice, Sporty Spice, Baby Spice, Ginger, and Posh. And I want them to each have come out with their own flavor. That I would support.
I'm with you. I would hate to get any type of spice set personally. I have no room for it. I don't cook. I mean, I thought I lived in a small apartment before.
If I can smoke it or if I can give it to my mom to smoke, fine. But if this is just a regular spice to put on food, you're wasting my time.
I hear you. I totally hear you. I'm not into this at all. Some of these things on this list are not gifts. They're not gifts.
A copy of Spice World on DVD. You know, my Spice Girls Polaroid camera that I used to have in 3rd grade. There are so many different, better spice gifts you could give than that.
Co-signing. Grant's Rants endorsed Annabelle DeSisto's take on the too many spice choices on Oprah's favorite things. Rejected. Number 34 on this list, the Terrace TV. Now, this is where the privilege, this is Goop level, really. The next best thing to a drive-in. It's a futuristic outdoor TV designed to withstand the elements. And I love when she has to make a personal anecdote here. She says that Gail was so wowed by the TV that I think I already know what Will and Kirby are getting for Christmas. I guess Will is Gail's husband and Kirby is Gail's daughter. So, I mean, just in case if you were wondering, maybe you have some FOMO and you want to spend $3,500 on a Samsung outdoor TV to watch in a blizzard. Who is going to be doing this? Who is going to be wanting to sit outside even if you don't live in a snow climate, to sit outside in a hurricane and watch The View?
Yeah. Who has this amount of money already has a personal movie theater in their home.
Exactly. $3,500 for a Terrace TV. No, I'm not interested. But that's pushing it. I'm just saying, like, the way the world is, especially the economy in the United States, to put something like this on to kind of check that entertainment level thing, this is pushing it. It's too expensive.
So somebody's going to have to if they buy that TV, they're going to have to also use it as their home for the next 4 years because that's people rent.
You're personally affected by that Terrace TV.
I'm personally victimized by this favorites list. And I'm really disappointed. I'm never disappointed in Oprah. This is my first time, and I don't like how it feels.
Well, I don't know why I covered this list because there are very few items, and I'm obviously looking at the list. I'm thinking of both the podcast and what I would like or what I could buy for someone. And 71 or 72 gifts ideas. No, again, I know we're being funny, and a lot of them do promote good things, but.
There was one thing that I would just be like, okay, I would use that, but still I would not want somebody to pay that amount of money because like I said, I could get this on Fashion Nova. Granted, it will probably fall apart after 10 washes, but my favorite only item that I thought was useful was the Cozy Earth Ultra Soft Bamboo Joggers. And I just love that a bamboo plant came out with joggers still before Sheree Whitfield.
Oh my God, I love that.
Possible.
Still, yep. More relevant, more on time, and it made Oprah's list. And Sheree, you could have made this list as a Black-owned business.
A small Black-owned business?
Sheree, again, still missing out on opportunities. Sheree.
She had setbacks in her life. I would have loved to.
Well, they're all self-inflicted, I think, with Sheree. Because she just, I don't know what she's got going on. She's so busy doing what?
Bit off her own arm. Granted, she made some not great choice, but it's I would love to support. Would love to support a small-owned business, let alone women-owned business, especially minority-owned business. That's why it's
absolutely.
How many of those criteria that checks this that have come out with useful, affordable things?
Yeah.
That you don't just keep in your pantry for a year and then you're well, I don't want to throw it out because one day I can use that tin to put pens in. Yeah. Tins are just things that you keep around. You're one day I'll find something to put in it. This has just been wasted.
Yeah, I know. There are some ideas, but I don't know. I mean, I appreciate that it was shorter, so it would highlight more of the Black-owned businesses, but I'm just not seeing too much on here that I don't know. I'm trying to support other beyond Amazon and Target, but my family, they want all these commercial items. There's nothing on this list if I bought them that they would want or even keep, unfortunately. I mean,
I go on Etsy because it's I know that it's going to somebody who
I wish I could support them more.
Well, the thing is you can get almost anything on Etsy. It is and it's got more and more obviously mainstream. It's I was so excited when I was using it 12 years ago because I was oh my God, I'm supporting bored stay-at-home moms in Vermont, with their needle point. And it's I still am, but you can get anything on Etsy, but it's I know. I felt this was more of a list of ingredient. If I was cooking something very boring and complex where I'm I need tea and spices and
an air fryer. Yes.
Salt. And this, I don't cook for a reason. This did not encourage me to cook. This was just, I would just rather donate to the charities themselves and just be you can save the money on shipping because this is a waste. The dog hoodies for $60. You're not adopting a dog for $60. you could adopt a dog cheaper than you get one of these hoodies that said, like, one says grateful, blessed, and the other says loved. You are very grateful if you're able to get your dog in an outfit. Out of all the animals we've ever had, we have 9 cats, can't put one outfit on them. My entire life we've had dogs. Our dog right now, if you even put on a decorative collar, she looks like she's like auditioning for like an SPCA commercial. I was like, it looks like I'm sending you to Yulin. I just want you to wear a decorative collar for one picture. Nope, can't do it. I would pay $60 if it would make my dog wear clothes, but just $60 for another wasted animal clothing, no.
I have no patience to put Callie in anything like that. I know she doesn't want to be in it. And now people over here in the winter are telling me that I have to put boots on her. I mean, she's not gonna, that's just not even worth it for me. I mean, should I try? People let me know if this is completely necessary, but if it isn't, I'm not doing it. I can't be bothered. I can't, and especially to go as far as to buy a sweatshirt. No. There's one thing on here, though, that I would never buy for myself, but I would like to accept as a gift. It is literally paint by numbers. It's just a paint by numbers set. A Parisian scene blooms before you. It's $42. I'm kind of into it. This looks like it could be something relaxing, and I need like something creative, but also like time consuming just to kind of like forget for a few minutes. And it looks pretty. This is the one I'm going to give her some credit. I like this.
And I feel like you would be so great at paint by numbers. I mean, not because I'm just like, you know, you could like follow a pattern and like read, but like you are very like meticulous and very like accurate, and like you like finish something from beginning to end. I know if I got this, I'd like have the box like for, you know, like 2 years, and then I finally open the paints. I just like, I paint one thing and been like, okay, I'm bored. And I would like leave the paints out, and like my cat would knock them over. This would be more of a, you have to be a very specific personality to like follow through on paint by numbers. And I think you are one of those like people where it would look like, I don't know. It would look like how it does on the box.
If I screwed up one color and put orange where it's supposed to be black, I have to throw it out because I'm such a perfectionist. Like that would be the one thing I'd see every time I looked at it. So maybe it would cause me more anxiety.
Also, yeah, I feel like you would be like the artist. You're like going to be like Van Gogh and cut off your own ear if it's like not perfect. Like on the third one, you're just like, what's the point?
That's where me. Yeah, this is a total waste of time. $40. I should have used the keyword Oprah for 20% off.
Well, then you could be on her like list of favorite things of favorite podcasts next year, and it's like Grant Ritter podcast has no ears, like and still manages to record a podcast. My God. He's an inspiration.
What I will say, Oprah, this list. I'm not seeing too much on it that promotes you. Usually her podcast is on this list. Usually her book club is on this list. But no, this year she really did clear the deck for these smaller businesses. So, Oprah, I'll give you some credit. But yeah, I mean, I didn't get anything out of this list that I would be purchasing for anyone. Another year of no real purchases. I don't think I've ever made a purchase off this list.
Nope. The only thing I've ever like going to like ever possibly purchase, you know, the O magazine for is just when I use it for a vision board that I never complete either. But it's like, that's more useful to me than anything on this list. It was just like, the Weight Watchers. I don't care how many points those like sauces go. Just what a waste.
Well, now that we've completely ripped apart this list, I think we're at our end. But, Annabelle, where can people find you, support you, hear more from you?
You can find me on my podcast, Adderall and Compliments, on iTunes, and Annabelle DeSisto on Instagram. And Grant has been on my podcast, and he's hilarious, as you know. And whenever I can guilt him to being back on it, I will. Even in quarantine, you're still the most booked person I know, and like scheduled and busy. He's just like, I want you to come out with like a 2021 planner. That's what I would like. So like, that's what I would consume and buy.
Okay. All right. I'll give it some thought. I'll add it to the list. Oh, please. I'm just in such a mess, but loved having you, loved seeing you and hearing from you. And just all the best to you. Hope to hear from you soon in the new year, if we get that far.
All right. I love you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you guys for listening to the Rants. I love you guys as always. We'll be back with more Rants. I'm going to continue. Don't forget the annual Gwyneth Paltrow Scoop gift guide. If you thought this list was a waste, just wait until we waste more of your time. We'll be back with more Rants. I love you for listening.
Grant's Rants. Follow Grant on Twitter and Instagram at It's Grant's Rants. Cover art created by Howie Ronay. Original theme music by Alexander Arntzen. The Grant Michael Collection.